Hello everyone, it's Julie at Camelia Crafts Designs. Welcome back to my channel. I'm here with another part in this ring bound junk journal. Right, I've got a very ambitious plan for what I want to get done in today's. So let's crack on. Now it might look like I've got a jigsaw puzzle in front of me, but what I have got is, we left it yesterday. I'll show you where we left it while I pick all these pieces up. We'd made this insert, and I told you where I were going to put pockets. We'd cut the pockets to size, and I'd told you I was going to cut papers. Well, I've gone ahead and I've cut all the papers to fit the pockets. Right, that's that pocket. So I've also written on the sizes that these needed to be, so I can tell you what they are. So we cut that pocket yesterday, which was 8 1/4 inches high by 2.5 inches wide. So the piece of paper to go on that needed to be 8 inches by 2 1/4. That's that. And then the mat for underneath needed to be 8 inches by 2 inches. So as you can see, I've just sewn around the 3 sides again on that. We've got strings left at the minute because I'm going to cut those off and just seal the ends with the glue. So that's going to go there. And we might as well stick them on as I'm saying it, aren't I, really? Yeah, we're going to use Collage and art glitter again. So I'll start by sticking the mats on. Just cut those down now, woman, because you're sticking them on and they're not going to unravel any further. So you're not going to have problems. Said that very authoritatively. I can't even say a word. No, I can't say it. Authoritatively. Is that even a word? I said that right. I've put too many its and tibs in it. I really don't know. We've got some wheeze. I've totally forgot already to burnish where the stitching is. So as I've not gone ahead and done the cosmic shimmer around the edges yet, I'm going to do it. I'm using my old Monkey Bone folder that gets glue on it. I'm not using my posh one. I'm not using my posh Teflon one for a job like that. Now I'm going to go ahead and put my cosmic shimmer around the edge. I was very good. I put my glue in, so there's no clogged glue. Oh, while I'm doing this, I'll tell you something as well, a new development. I've recently been accepted for an Amazon affiliate account. Is it affiliate, influencer, whatever they call it? Basically, you'll have seen other YouTubers have got them. They have this link to an Amazon storefront where they can list all the products that they use. So I have now set one of those up. So whenever you see me going on about things that I use all the time, if I tell you that I buy them from Amazon, they will be listed on there. If you go and you buy it, I do get a small commission. It doesn't make it any more expensive for you than if you just bought them. Don't put that in the wrong place. Than if you just bought it off Amazon anyway. But if you are thinking of buying something I use, it would be greatly appreciated if you click through that way. So yeah. And I won't be putting links to anything that I don't use or haven't used. And I won't be putting links to things on that I have used and don't like. You know, as you're probably aware if you've watched me for a while, if I use something and I don't like it, I'm not shy at telling you about it. Yeah, even if it's a big brand. You'll know my opinion on the my We Are Memory Keepers Corner Chomper. I use it because I've got it. But it's my second one, and it's the second one I've broke. So when that one dies altogether, I will not be replacing it. They're far too expensive to break from dropping on the floor once, which is how I broke both of them. So yeah, that's that. So we've glued that one on. I'm now going to glue the pocket on. We're going to just use the cosmic shimmer for the pocket. So yeah, that's that. And again, a big thank you to everyone who has bought me a coffee in the last week. Yeah, I meant to get a list of your names, totally forgot. I remember Deborah, people who have downloaded my free digital, you are quite welcome. Go on there, download it. It is completely free. If you do want to make a donation, it's entirely up to you. And thank you so much to the people who have made a donation. It is greatly appreciated. I will be putting some of those butterfly pages on when I get round to it. I've just been so busy this last week or so. I don't know why I'm sleeping really well. I shouldn't complain. Yeah, I mean, yeah. I have suffered from insomnia for such a long time. But it's a bit novel for me to go to bed and go straight to sleep. And I'm making the most of it. So, yeah. So we seem to have got back into our routine now. Since the whole lockdown business. And we seem to be in a better routine than we were. Even my little Rachel, my youngest twin, who has always... Yeah, she does not sleep well. Never has done. Right from being a baby. Her sleep pattern is improving a little bit. Right, let's burnish this one before gluing. So yeah, I told you the size on this one. The pocket is 8 1/4 by 2 1/2, and this piece of paper is 8 by 2 1/4. I don't know if you can see, but I've wrote the paper measurements on in pencil. Yeah, my brain's not functioning amazingly well all of a sudden. Yeah. Oh, I'd like to thank Kate as well. Kate, and I forgot your second name, Kate. Kate apologised to me on Instagram for butchering the name of my channel, but she didn't butcher the name of my channel. She made a slight mistake. And yeah, whatever. Yeah, you know how many mistakes I make. Kate does have a YouTube channel. She's over on Instagram. The YouTube channel is Kate's Junk Journals. And she's fabulous. Her style is completely different to mine. It's a style that I admire and love, but can't quite do. I just can't do it. I've tried and failed. When I try Kate's style, it ends up looking like one of the kids has made it. I need to clear my nozzle. I'm wondering if this glue's empty. That'll be a bit of a shocker if it is. No, I've just turned it upside down, shook it and squeezed it. Because I know it's nearly empty. I need to go onto Amazon and order some more. No, I'm not. I'm filling it up with Cosmic Shimmer. See what I mean? About my memory, it's shocking. When that's empty, I'm canting my Cosmic Shimmer into it. My Cosmic Shimmer bottle. The nozzle got so gunked up that it's so completely blocked. Sorry about turning this upside down. It's just the way I have to do it. Yeah, my Cosmic Shimmer nozzle got so completely blocked. I'll show it you. Look at that. Look, it's got a sticker on top. There's no nozzle left. I can't get the top off because it's glued shut. So I'm going to have to cut the thing in half, and then I'm going to decant the last third of the bottle into my art glitter bottle. Get it used. I don't want to waste it. I do that with everything, me. Ketchup, salad cream, everything. Yeah, washing up liquid. Yeah. Well, not washing up liquid, the washing liquid you put in the washing machine for your clothes. I am not throwing away those little dregs at the bottom. I ought to start a channel on frugal living. It'll probably amaze some people. The lengths I'll go to save tuppence halfpenny. Right, we're going to stick this one on next. Right, I don't know which this is. I'll have to check. It's this one. They're the same. That's slightly narrower because that's going to go on there. So this one, it's 5 1/2. The piece of paper is 5 1/2 high by 4 wide. We know how high that is and how wide it is. We went into that yesterday. So I'll trim those threads off. So yeah, anyway, there you go, memory and all that. I started talking about Kate and her channel, Kate's Junk Journals. Yeah, Kate got my free digital and she used it in one of her videos. I was so chuffed. It was like, wow, someone who I admire, whose work I think is amazing, is using my digital in their video. Yeah, she go over, check her out. She's brilliant. And yeah, I like her attitude. Oh, the amount of time she'll be like, whatever. Yeah, she's funny. So yeah, I think I've finished saying what I was saying now about Kate. Wee. Oh, we had to get a wee in, didn't we? I hope I've got the lighting sorted out today. I've closed my voiles, both of them. So I've got the overhead light on and I've got my ring light on low. So we shouldn't get changeable light. I don't think my camera or my editing skills could keep up with changing light yesterday. Quite annoying. So I do apologise for that. If you watched yesterday's and found that annoying about it. It was so much easier to film in winter when we had the predictable dull British weather. Yeah, it were. Right, that's that one. Right, which piece goes on here? I'm guessing it's that one, but I'm just going to check the other one to make sure, because we don't want to get it wrong. Where's it gone? Where's it gone? I've lost it. Here it is. It's hiding underneath that. Yeah, there's not much difference in size with these two. So I just wanted to check that the bigger paper went on the bigger pocket. Now that bigger pocket goes on the outside. This pocket is going to go here. There we go. I got that right. Have I? No, that's wrong. This pocket goes here. The bigger pocket goes on the outside. Silly woman. So that's that. Let's burnish the stitching. I think I've forgotten that one. Do it now. No time like the present. You can do it after. There's just a risk your glue's going to squidge. But mine didn't then. Maybe because I'd left it a while before doing it. Yeah, there's always more than one way to do something. Yeah, when you're watching people, me in particular, anyone, sometimes don't think because I've done it that way, that's the only way it can be done. That's just the way I've chosen to do it sometimes. It's one of them, the end justifies the means. A rather unsavoury saying that my mum used to say, there's more than one way to skin a cat. I have heard that said as there's more than one way to skin a rabbit, but it means the same. You get the end result through various different methods. Ooh. Blow that away because I don't want to get that. There we go. That one's going to go on there. I've chosen a pretty neutral one for the pockets because I'm going to embellish the pockets further. So I've got the neutral paper on the pockets and I've got the rose paper behind. That's going to get covered up by tags and journal cards. I did have to print out a few more sheets of the kit. I printed out a couple more of this neutral sheet and a couple more of the full rose sheet. I also did print out a few sheets borderless to get the full A4 page covered for something I intend doing. I'll not fit that into today's video, I don't think, but I want to do some full size envelope pockets inserts. Yeah, I do. Right, I'm putting that not quite at the bottom. Just because I think it will look nice. I don't know why. on this inside one. I think because to allow for the folding, we've not put it right up to the crease line. I think just leaving that gap there as well just makes it look, yeah, more uniform, shall we say. Right, that's that. Right, this one, I've cut a piece of that. That is going to go there, and then the piece that folds down to fasten in with the rings on is going to go there. So I'll glue this one on, move it out of the way while we burnish this. Yeah, it's another a lot of measuring, matting and layering, this one. But it's one of the ones, once you've measured this, you can measure your papers just by placing them on and marking them as I did with a pencil. I'm just letting you know these measurements because I just knock 1/4 of an inch off either measurement to cut a piece of paper. And I'm conscious that not everyone is as good at maths. I am quite good at maths. I've always been quite good at mental arithmetic in my head. I've worked in shops, I've worked in bars, pubs. I said bars for you American ladies. And yeah, I went to school at the time when we learnt our times tables by rote. We recited them every morning. They're stuck there in my head. They're not going anywhere. And I struggled at school with the more advanced maths. I failed it twice. I failed it 3 times. I resat it. I then stayed on in 6th form to redo it. Failed it. And then a few years ago, I had opportunity to, I'm saying a few years ago, it's perhaps about 5-6 years ago now, at our local children's centre. They were running a maths course, and it were one of teachers from local academy, secondary school, and I signed up for it and I passed, and I was like, whoa. And I think what worked for me is the teacher. Fabulous teacher, and he retired the year after we did that with him. I'm so sad that my children are not going to benefit from his experience. And the reason it worked for me is because he not only taught us what to do, he taught us why we were doing it. Because for me, just telling me what to do does not work. I won't remember it. I need to know why I'm doing it. And he never made anyone feel silly for asking any question. He never made us feel like any question was silly or not worthy of his time to answer it. It were amazing. And I passed it, and I were amazed. So yeah, my kids, yeah, they're not going out of doing their maths homework. Because even though I can't remember how to do a lot of what they're doing, one short YouTube video and it springs back into my mind. Yeah. So then I can help them. So I'm really glad I did it. Right. There we go. I went a bit heavy on the collage there. You can see it's come through. It's made the paper a little bit transparent. That does go away when the collage dries. I do it when I'm talking. I get a little bit heavy-handed. So that's the inside of that one. I decided I was going to put a belly band on that. I'm not going to do it now. I want that paper dried, stuck down and not going anywhere before I put it in. But it'll just be a belly band, and I'm going to put a little flippy notebook in it. Right, let's do this last outside piece. That's it. I nearly pinched one at pieces off next insert. Yes, I've gone ahead and cut up the insert that's going to have a little journal inside as well. I'll tell you how I made that. It's extremely similar to this. The measurements are almost identical. In fact, they are identical. It's just the little flap that's going to be slightly different. I did say yesterday I'll be making another identical one up for it, didn't I? Right, don't go too mad with your collal this time, woman. Yeah, you don't need... Wild dogs are not going to come and try and tear it off. Wild dogs today, not bears. Ooh. Yeah, I was mentioning in my comments yesterday to Deborah that I had my tea made again for me yesterday. Rebecca made this herby chicken with red onion mash and these glazed green beans. It was so lovely. Yeah, I got evicted from my kitchen. I was actually cooking last night, but when she came home, she said she fancied cooking. And she went and had a look what we'd got in. She's like, what, is anything off limits? I'm like, no, it's first meal at week. You choose what you want. We'll make other meals up with what else we've got. So she used one of her HelloFresh recipes. I can say that the cost of the meal was a little bit less than half of what it would have cost from HelloFresh. Yeah, we only had HelloFresh for the offer period. 50% off week 1, 35% off weeks 2 to 4. Yeah, we've now got 20 recipe cards that Becca can choose from. Got to say the recipe cards are really easy to follow. Do you know what? I'm going to cut a smidgen off the end of that. I've got a feeling when this folds, yeah, it could get caught. I'm just going to cut a teeny smidgen off. I don't think I'll have to then cut a smidgen off the paper. That should be okay. It's that smidgen again. And when I say a smidgen, I mean less than 1/8 of an inch. Yeah, it's about 1/2 of an inch. 1/32 of an inch, whatever that is. Yeah, that's it. One smidgen. Where's my... I was looking for my dabber then, and I'm not using my dabber. I'm using this wet and dry foam. Cut and dry foam. Yeah, if all you ever do is ink edges with your ink, you don't really need a blending tool. This does the job and saves quite a bit of dosh. You know me, I'm all about saving the dosh. Yeah, I'm not like, oh, everything's got to be cheap, but if there's a cheaper method that works just as well, I'm going to find it and I'm going to use it. I used to watch a lady called Lindsay, I can't pronounce her name, the Frugal Crafter. I used to love watching her. She was so good at telling you what worked and what didn't. I think she's more about her art now and promoting products. I still love watching it. I love her little... She does just a chat once a week. But yeah, got many a tip from her. She's not just a crafter, she's an artist. Well, yeah, that's the old debate, innit? Are crafters artists? I call myself an artist. When there's no other option. When there's no other option. You know what I mean? When you're having to fill anything in and there is nothing for crafter and there's nothing even close, I put artist. I'm not going to get all philosophical about it. It's, yeah. Art can be a baked bean on a plate if you tell someone it is, can't it? There you go. Right. And that one's going there. Ooh, speaking of artists though, if you're in the UK, there's a local artist, Sheffield artist, Robin of Locksley calls himself. I don't know, I think he's trying to be a bit like Banksy, but he does sculpture as well. But he also, Robin of Locksley is one of the names for Robin Hood. He just goes around, and not just in Sheffield or Yorkshire, just leaving random money around place with his calling card. And I mean randomly. He'll stick a £20 note to a bus stop with his calling card, just for someone to find. And he did this last year, and then as a grand finale, I think he threw £5,000 in, I don't know, was it 5s and 10s down escalators in Meadowhall Shopping Centre in Sheffield. Yeah, and anyways, I don't know whether it's started yet, but it's in the next few weeks. If not, he's off on his travels again, promoting his art and leaving random amounts of money around place. So yeah, keep your eyes open if you're out and about. You never know. Right, that's that done. Oh, I'm quite liking that. We've not put anything in yet. We're just going to fill it with, I don't know what. Right, that's that done. Let's grab, now I've shown you putting those on, what I think I'll do for this one is I'll go away. Well, I won't go, I'm not going to go anywhere. I'm just going to switch camera off, because you've just seen me stick all those on. Right, this one is going to be the journal. Yeah, so I'll bring this one in to show you a comparison. It's exactly the same size, yeah. The only difference is where we made that long flap there, I've cut that down to, is it 2 inches? Ruler. I said that like it were going to jump out and bite me, didn't I? Yes. That flap there, exactly the same as we made the base yesterday, but I've cut that down to 2 inches. And I'm going to seal it as a pocket. And that's it. And I've cut all the pieces ready to go on. We've got that for the pocket. We've got that for underneath. I've done pretty plain ones there. We've got one for underneath there. The front of it is that rose. And then the back of it, I've done what we did on the inside cover. You know how I used the picture and cut it and made pockets? I'm just trying to grab it to show you, and it's been elusive. There it is, yeah. I've used the rose picture that I used on the front cover actually, yeah, but this time I've just made one pocket. I just cut it in half. I cut it to the height we needed, which is 8 inches, and then I chose a place to cut it which was just below the rose, which left me with a 2 3/4 inch piece. Yeah, I decided I wanted it below rose, and then I made sure I cut it definitely on a measurement which was 2 3/4, yeah. So then I made a pocket which was 3 inches high to go on the back, same width as the back, which was a smidgen under 5 inches, and we've got the same deal as we have on the inside of the front cover, the pocket with the continuous picture. So I'm going to go away and stick these on. You've watched me stick enough things on, and I'll be back in 2 ticks, and I'm going to show you how to put the rings in, and we'll turn it into an actual ring bound journal, because I'm getting all these pieces now, and if I don't get them all collated together, I'm going to start losing them. So 2 ticks. And I'm back. Right, I've put most of it together. I've just left one bit so I could show you. Right, I've put the papers on the inside. I've put that paper there and there on the flap. And yeah, put that on before you glue the flap down. It is quite obvious, but I forget often. Then I glue the flap down with whatever PVA glue you choose. You really don't need to use art glitter for this. I'm just anxious to empty this tube and get my... I think I may have emptied the tube, people. I don't think it's, I think 'cause I've had it stood up while I just got the video back up, that's it. Yeah, just glue those edges. It's dead handy when you can incorporate a flap with a crease. Oh, ooh, just noticed that bit of fabric sticking out. I've just tucked it in. So there we go. That's that. And I've left the back pocket, because I know I explained it, but I did do it on the, I'm just going to put that end of that under something, because I want it to glue down. I'm just going to grab my planner. There you go. There you go. Planner's on it. That's a plan, isn't it? That was just a really bad joke. I'm ever so sorry. I didn't mean to. Right, I'm going to put this pocket on. Yeah, we are, when we've put this on and we punch holes in, yes, we're going to punch holes through, but that's not a problem. These pockets are still usable. Right, so firstly, pop that one on. Same thing again, art glitter around the edges. No idea why I've decided to do the art glitter around the edges first. Do you know, I think this is empty. I'm going to swap to, I do have a little bottle of it. Let's see whether we can make it work. Just enough to get this one last pocket glued. That's sod's law, that, isn't it? Or Murphy's Law, to give it its proper name. Oh, it's coming out really fast now. One extreme to other. This was blogged up and it weren't working. I don't know why. I wonder if it's something to do with temperatures. I really don't know. It's cold again here. When it got warm, this didn't want to come out at bottle. I wonder if it was because of that. I'm guessing. Then I'm putting my colour in the middle. That's going to get covered where I blobbed that. That goes on there. Just going to use that pin to tuck that thread underneath. There we go. I don't do the back stitching, it weakens the paper. It does at the end anyway. My machine doesn't do it very good at the end. Then we'll put the flap on. Do you know, I think that needs trimming a smidgen. Yeah. Just a smidgen. I'll re-chomp the end. Whenever you make everything, it's because that's the factory crease. It's such a big crease. That's why it's needing that trim. There we go. I didn't really need to round those corners, but it's not a problem that I have. I'm going to put the pocket on first, then I can line the paper up to make sure it matches, yeah? Oh, and the little bottle off. I'll just remember what I did with this. I washed the tip. And I think I got water in it. Still seems to be working though. Right. There we go. Oh, that's so much easier and better. Bit of cosmic shimmer in the middle. Not even cosmic shimmer, it's collage. Sometimes I'm better off just keeping my mouth closed, aren't I? Yeah, I know that's not lined up perfectly on the pocket, but it's lined up with the paper above. Your eye won't notice that it's not lined up perfectly on the pocket then, because the pockets had to be cut a little bit short there to allow for that crease. Right, there we go. That should have been on there long enough. So there we have the one that we're going to sew a signature into. That's the front of it. That's the back of it with a pocket. And the inside's got just one pocket there. Yep. Right, I'm now going to show you how to put your holes in and do the little closure. I'm going to show you the closure on this one and allow that one to dry before I start punching holes through where we've put glue and everything. So, right, before we start punching holes in this, we need to start punching holes in the cover, and we need to start punching holes in the other pages. I've not done the back cover. I ended up using that rose one that I printed off for it. Hi girlies, I'm just videoing. Girls home from school. Oh, I'm just going to pause. Girls are home. Phone's ringing. I'm back. Well, it were all happening there, weren't it? Everyone coming home. Somebody on phone. Yeah, right. So I'm just getting my pages together, ready to punch some holes. Now I'm going to be punching the holes in, excuse me, in this insert before I glue that down, because of the way I'm going to make the closure for this insert. Yeah. So I need to make sure I've got these. It doesn't matter if they're in the right order. I just need to make sure I've got them all the right way up and the right way around, because I'm really good at shuffling them. I think I've played 52 card pickup, yeah, as well with them. That's going to be in the front, and that is it. Oh, that way round, that way round. Just want to make sure I've got the one I wanted at the front the right way around. Oh, I wanted that. There's a front page and that was it. I wanted that one. Yeah, I'm happy with that. That is going to be the front of the journal, and that is going to be the back of the journal. I've got the writing the right way up, and that is our insert. Right, here we go. So I'm going to make a template that's going to allow me to punch all my holes in the correct place for this journal. Now we know the journal is 8.5 inches high, and we know these pages are 8, and we know that insert's 8 1/4. So without further ado, I'm going to write that down, because that's going to confuse my brain before too long. So, and if you've got a brain like mine, I suggest you do the same. Look, I have to write all sorts down. I've got measurements from a previous project here. So, cover 8.5, insert 8 1/4, page 8. Right, I won't forget that now. Now I've got a piece of this. It's just a spare bit of the file folder. I'm hoping it's already 8.5. Yes, it is. So I'm going to decide on here where we want to put the holes. I'm also going to have a look at the insert and have a look. It doesn't matter where they end up being on the pages, so I'm going to put them to one side for a minute. On the insert, does it matter? I don't want the hole to end up like halfway up that pocket. That would be a bit dodgy looking, wouldn't it? So I want it to be further down. Same with the inside of the cover. But as I've made all my bottom pockets 3 inches high, we know we can work round that. So I'm going to do 2 holes. So let's have a look. If I do each hole 2 inches from the bottom, I think we should get round that problem. So I'm just going to measure 2 inches on here. I'll do it from each end to make sure it's the same. I'll even try doing it in the same place. That would be a brilliant start, wouldn't it? just so I can see where the holes are going to end up. Yeah, that's going to be fine. Yep. So I want to do the holes 2 inches. Right. As far as the depth on the holes, I want my insert and my pages. I don't want them to come bang flush up to the edge of my book. I want them in just a smidgen. And I mean an absolute smidgen. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this and make a template. I'll get my little chopper out. You'll see what I mean in a minute by a template. Just cut this end off. Let's get rid of them ridged bits. It doesn't matter how wide this template is. It's any old piece of card we're going to use. You see now why I've marked the middle. I didn't want to mark on that template. So I want my holes 2 inches in. Now I'm going to use my crocodile. Now if you don't have a crocodile, you can use any old hole punch, and that's when the template is going to be your very best friend. But even though I've got a crocodile, I still like to use a template because I don't trust myself. Now I want the holes to come in past where my stitching is. So I'm going to have a look at my front cover again, and I'll have a look how far in that needs to be. And I'm going to use my little gauge. I'm going to try half an inch. Half an inch is going to clear, but then I think half an inch might be a little bit too... I think it does need to be half an inch, you know. I'm going to have a look on my... Yeah, we got half an inch. That's a bit less than half an inch on that one I did before. I'm going to do it a smidgen under half an inch. A smidgen, actually, I'm going to do it 2 smidgens, a 1/16 of an inch. Yeah, so I'm doing it 7/16 of an inch in to the journal. Yeah, so the first thing I'm going to punch is my template, and what I'm going to do now, where I've marked those holes that are 2 inches across, I'm going to come in with my T ruler and I'm going to draw along. I could do this on desk, but I'm just being awkward and not doing it on desk. There we go. So where those lines are, I'm going to punch 7/8. No, I'm not. I'm going to punch 7/16 of an inch in, like that. That's come out, and like that. Now, if you've got this, you can measure 7/16 by using your little gauge. If you don't have this, measure 7/16 by using a ruler. Measure to the centre of your dot, 7/16. Yep. Right. This is always like nerve-wracking, putting the holes in your book. So I'm going to line that up. This is what I would do if I didn't have my crocodile. I'm going to draw the holes like so. I still draw the holes even though I've got a crocodile. I like being able to see them to make sure the gauge on my crocodile hasn't moved. Because I don't know about you, but mine can be a little bit loose sometimes. So there we have 2 holes on our front cover. I'm then going to do holes in the back cover. Check I've got that the right way up. I know I've not done the inside of it yet, but that's not a biggie. Hang on, I didn't mark my template top and bottom. I know. I know I didn't do that when I were doing my last journal, but because I'd done it so perfect from each edge, it doesn't make a difference. But you know, if you were to be out a little bit with your measurements, that marking top and bottom does make a difference. But if you've measured it totally spot on, it's not such a huge thing. Right, which way up does this writing go? It's confusing my life out. I want the holes on that side. Yeah, that's it. So I'll just turn my template round. That's the top. Putting my little holes in. And I'm punching again. Right, so that's my cover done. Now what I'm going to do for my pages, I'm going to take my template, I'm going to take my trimmer, and I'm going to take off a 1/16 of an inch. Just a 1/16, nothing more, doesn't need to be anything more. And what that's going to do is just going to make sure that my pages will not quite be flush with the edge of the journal when I punch my holes. Can you see what I've done? I've took a 1/16 of an inch off my template where the holes are. And when I've punched my first page, you'll see exactly what that's going to mean. Phew, they line up. In fact, I'll do it in this one first, yeah? Right, ignore that hole, we'll put that on as an example of what I cannot remember now. I've had a sleep since then, literally. So I'm going to rub that out. Right. So, also, when we put the template on here, it's bigger, isn't it? This is 8 1/4. So I'm going to eyeball this. I'm going to eyeball that it's hanging over the edge, roughly the same amount. I'm going to pop my template flush with that edge. I'm going to have to put this down on the table this time, and I'm going to draw my circles. So again, the way I do it, yeah, it's all well and good. It's handy if you've got a crocodile, but you don't need to have a crocodile. The only bit I cheated with is getting the first holes in. Measure it if you don't have the crocodile. Right, so now because I have got the crocodile, I can cheat this one again, and I can move this up a 1/16 of an inch. There you go. I just do that because the card gets stuck in the hole and you can't see where you're punching. So that's that. Now when I put that inside, you'll see exactly what I'm meaning. Yeah, there's a tiny bit of room. I don't know if you can even see that. Are we close enough? Yeah, it doesn't come flush with that edge, but there's not a really big gap. I just like that little 1/16 of an inch gap. Yeah, I just think it looks neater on that edge when you've got lots of stuff in your journal. Right, oops, what did I do there? Nearly damaged that. So we've got those two there ready for as eyelets to fasten it into the journal. Now I'm going to put another hole in, and this hole, I want it to line up with those because it looks neater. So I'm going to get my ruler. Oh, I've just had an idea. This is a spiffing idea. She says. Yeah, I can use edge of this. I've never done this like this before. I'm eyeballing that it's in the middle. But I just wanted to be the same distance from edge so that it looks neat. That looks fine. But I'm only going to punch through this one side here. So I'm going to have to alter this gauge just to reach that far. Right, there we go. So we've got 2 holes that are going to hold it into the ring, and 1 hole there that's going to make this little closure. So I'm going to grab some eyelets. I need to do this closure one first. I've got these, the silver, but they're not bright silver. They're like the same colour as these paper clips. it's not gunmetal, it's just a bit of a dull silver, isn't it? And we're going to use this paper clip. Right, ribbon. I've not got my ribbon out. What a womble. I'm just going to grab some ribbon. Ooh, that looks nice. Look at me, that looks nice. I best pause while I grab this ribbon because I sorted all my ribbon out and I don't know where it all is. 2 ticks. Here we go, ribbons. Right, I've decided I think I want to use an organza ribbon because it's going to wrap around and I don't want it to be too chunky. I've just got to decide on colour. And I think I've made my decision. I think this cream would just disappear into nothingness. I think that pink is far too pink. That's too... It's got some silver on. I do like it, but I don't know. I think the silver might be too sparkly. I don't want that much bling. That's too thin. That's too sparkly. So we're left with this one, aren't we? That were an easy decision. I don't think I've even ever used this one. What am I like? A nice pink organza. How big is this one? Grab the ruler and measure it for you. It is... Ooh, it must be a metric one. It's 1.5 centimetres wide, which is 6/8 of an inch. No, 5/8 of an inch. I can't add it up. Yeah, I'm just going to cut the end off because it's got the sellotape on. Yeah, this is back from the days when I used to sell ribbon on eBay before my kids were born. So, yeah, this probably is vintage. It could be vintage ribbon, this. How mad is that? If it's one that's just been hanging around, I mean, I did that for about, ooh, yeah, started over 20 years ago when eBay started. So yeah, I doubt it though. This will probably one from towards the end. Anyway, short waffling about ribbon, woman. Right, let's just decide how much ribbon we need to go around this. We want enough to make a nice bow, don't we? I don't think I want it double. Or do I? No, I don't want it double, but I want plenty. I want to be able to tie a nice bow. It's easy to say I want plenty when you've got plenty, isn't it? So I'll cut it off and then I'll tell you how much I've used. I'm going to measure it on my desk, which is 1 metre long. It's just a smidgen over 1 metre. I've used 1 metre and 15 centimetres. So I've used 1 metre 15 centimetres, which is roughly round about 1, 2, 3. It's nearly 5 feet. Yeah, nearly 5 feet, not quite. Is it? No, nearly 4 feet. Yeah, that sounds much better. Right, let's show you how we do this then. First, I'm going to put this thing in here. Yeah, what's it called? It's an eyelet, that's it. So I put this eyelet in the middle one. Squash. Oh, I went a bit hell for leather on that, and it's, yeah, quite soft rivets these. I'll be wary of that on the next one. I'm just going to grab my little hammer just to smooth the back down, because what I don't want to do is for it to damage the ribbon. I should have squeezed that much slower. It's altered the shape slightly up front, but I'm not going to lose sleep. Right, I'm then going to put the ribbon through this paper clip, like so. I think you can already tell what I'm going to do now, can't you?
Sorry, I'm not sure.
Well, you don't have to make one of these, do you, love? Gertrude. I'm going to rename my Amazon device Gertrude. So when I talk about Gertrude, it won't be activating yours. So yeah, Gertrude. So you see, I've put it through the paper clip. I've put both ends of the ribbon through. So now they're coming through that hole and they're going nowhere. But I'm not going to glue it down yet because I want one side of the ribbon to be a bit longer than the other. Because one has got to go all the way around the back of the journal and the other one has only got to go that far. So I'm just going to pull that one to make it a little longer. I want them to be roughly the same length on this side. I can always snip them down, it's not end at world. That's it, they're roughly the same length. Now what I'm going to do, because it would be end at world if, it would, wouldn't it? It'd be end at world if you pulled on that ribbon, it came out all together and you lost your fastener. I'm just going to pop a little bit of double-sided tape on there, just to make sure that doesn't go anywhere. So let me grab that. I'm just rummaging in my drawer to find it. Oh, my drawer didn't want to come open. Open drawer. I've wedged the tape in and now it won't open. Craft lunch. Here we go. Oh, can't find double-sided. I've got a bit of, this'll do, a bit of framer's tape. It'll probably hold it better actually than double-sided. It doesn't need to stick to the other side. Is that too wide? Yes, I'm just going to cut it down a little. That's it, so I'm just going to cover that with some framer's tape there. There we go. It'll hold the ribbon and it'll just keep that paper clip in place. So there we've got the closure. Now I'm going to put the other eyelets in and that will hold it down. Yeah, you don't need to glue it. You could even then just use it to tuck things under. So let's grab a couple of eyelets. If you find it's annoying you, then just snake a bit of glue underneath. I'm not going to bother. I'm going to let the eyelets do the work. Oh, one other word about these eyelets. When you're making a ring bound junk journal, have I got another eyelet to show you? Yeah, let me get my big ones out. Even though these eyelets look the same size, let me show you what I mean. No, that's not one. It's a different colour, but you'll get the idea. Can you see those eyelets look the same size on the outside? I can't even hold these. The inner diameter is slightly different. Yeah? Now, that one's a We Are Memory Keepers one. They came with my Crocodile too. And you use the same setting, the 3/16 of an inch one to set them, but you haven't got as much room for the rings that we're going to use to bind this journal. So just be wary of that, especially if you've bought that and you're using the eyelets that come with it. I've never even seen those eyelets for sale. Right, so that's one eyelet in. I've got so much rubbish on my desk now. Yeah, I want the eyelet, I want the fronts of the eyelets to show on the front of the journal. I'm squeezing this a little bit more slowly because I don't want to deform it like I slightly did the middle one. That's better. Whoop. I'm all fingers and thumbs with these today. I've no idea why I'm messing with these today. There we go. So, there we have it. Yeah, that's much smoother on back as well because I did it slower. So, that is the closure for our journal insert. And once that is inside with the rings on, the ribbon will stay at the side we want it at. We have got plenty of ribbon there. Your sew didn't need as much ribbon as I used. You'll be able to cut some of that off and use it somewhere else. Right, let's bring in my pages. I'm going to punch the holes in the pages. I'm going to set this back to the 7/16. I'm going to grab my template again. put them all the right way round. Yeah, I'm happy with that. And I'm going to punch them in 2 lots. We've got 8 pages all together. I know because I just cut them up randomly, they're not perfectly the same size, so I'm just going to make sure they look okay. Okay's okay for me. I'm going to eyeball the top and the bottom with the template. Make sure it lines up there. I'm going to draw my circle on. And I'm going to come in. Oh, I've moved that again. I've lined up the wrong side like a womble. That's wrong. That's right. So we've got those. And then just because I can, I'm going to do these next ones by drawing the hole from the pages I've already done. Yeah? Just because I can. I mean, why wouldn't you? Right. And just so we can start to make it look like an actual junk journal, I'm going to put these together. Right, we've got holes in all those. There are other things going in. I haven't finished this yet by any means. Right, I did show you but didn't show you what to do with these rings. But I've got a range of rings here, like I said, because I used to use them a lot. I've got lots of rings in lots of sizes. Now, when you buy rings, if you're making this project or any project like this, it's the diameter. And I don't even know if it's the inside diameter or the outside that you measure them by. Now, because you buy them in inches, I'm going to measure one and guess. Now, I'm going to guess that you buy these by the outer diameter, because this one measures 1 3/4 of an inch outer diameter. This one measures 2 1/4 inches, yeah. So I'm going to say the diameter is the outer diameter of the ring. So that's 1 3/4, 2 1/4. Yeah, that's, what's that? 1 and that's 1 5/8. So which one am I going to use for this? The bigger the ring, the more stuff you can put in your journal. For now, I'm going to put these in and see what occurs. So I'm going to start by putting the front one on. This is how I do it, because there are lots of ways you're told to do it. Oh, and this is the only one that makes sense to me. I start by holding the front, and then I put all my pages on the top hole. I can't handle 2 rings at once, I just can't. I will be putting some paper reinforcement rings on these paper pages, but I just want to get this looking like a journal. This is my 3rd video on it, and it doesn't look like a journal yet. So that's that. And then we're going to close the ring. Woohoo! It's looking like a journal. I'm so giddy. Is that the right ring? Yeah. Then with this one, I tend to work from the back. And I'll go there. And then I'll go through and lift all the pages on from the back. That's just how I do it. It's what works for me. You might find your own way of doing it. It's at this point where I do like to get it bound, because then especially if you've only got one size of ring available and you don't want to buy any more. It then lets you know how much more you can put in the journal. Oh, I've not put the rings on the front cover yet, but I will. We just wanted it to look like a journal, didn't we? So there we go. So, right, those, can you see? Those will not go through the holes. Those are the hinges, which is good. They will be on the outside. So there we have it. I think that's quite an impressive first page. I'm liking that. Yeah, imagine that when it's full of things. I really like that. Yeah, when it's full of pockets. Yeah, we've got this other one which should be getting dry now. Yeah, this one I'm going to bind some pages into it. I'm going to do exactly the same thing there on the spine. And that's going to get popped in. Yeah, I want to make a big tag, I think, and put that in as a page. Right, so even though it's a ring bound one, there's going to be plenty of space to write in it. And if you find it awkward to write in, the other advantage with it being a ring bound one is, if this is your journal insert, you can take that out. Take that out, do your journaling, pop it in. Yeah, and at any point you can make another insert to go with it. So there we have it for today. You now know how to do that closure. I just think that looks a lot neater than fastening it with paper clips, fastening it together with a paper clip. Yeah, it took some head scratching to come up with that, but I did that quite a while ago. So one tip, I do like to use the same colour paper clip as the eyelet I use, because you can just see the paper clip inside. But yeah, I think it gives a lovely neat little finish. You can then hang a charm off it, anything you want, but I do intend to hang a nice big tassel off one of these rings when we're done. Maybe stick a charm on there. I don't know, I've not decided on that yet because I'm making this up as I go along. Anyway, thank you very much for joining me. I really hope you enjoyed that one, and the light I am sure has been better. I will see now when I come to upload it. So thank you very much for joining me, and I will see you next time. Bye.